what I am calling the MIDI binding of Isaac. So what is the MIDI binding of Isaac? I'm a musician and I love to loop. And when I loop, I'm able to loop all of these different elements of the music. So I can just really quickly do really cool loop juggling sometimes, if everything is set up correctly. Huh? 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 Cool. So the ability to program these different elements of the loop is called binding. You use controls, like the controls in front of me. I've got two iPads and a Keith McMillan um, and a Chaos pad. Because, you know, you gotta have some chaos, like in Isaac. So, yeah, what I am doing is a little bit of an evolution of this idea I had. I love The Binding of Isaac. It is one of my absolute favorite games. It's made by this person, Edmund McMillan. They're this awesome game developer, started as a Flash game developer, and they made games like Super Meat Boy and Gish, but this is sort of become their legacy. It's a very like heart project in that, you know, a lot of it is based off of their experience, but I think it resonates with a lot of people. And, you know, I've listened to him talk a lot about it because I just really enjoy what he has to say. And he's always saying, you know, I get what I get out of it, but, you know, I just want people to get something out of it. And so there are some, you know, weird concepts in it. You can see there's some gameplay being played. In this show, I make improv music that is inspired by Isaac, and then I play Isaac with that music in the background, and then I am inspired and I make the cycle happen. This is, you know, all set up for a couple different reasons. One, I really enjoy playing Isaac, and I also really want to make sure that I am moving forward with my goals and my aspirations. So if I do, you know, this, I get to play some Isaac. And, you know, both of them get to feed into each other, which I love because this is, I think, my favorite game. But again, it's a little bit weird. There's this little boy, Isaac. It's a little bit sad. He has passed away because his mom was going to kill him because she became very radicalized in her religious ways. And he felt that he was a bad little child and that his mom was going to kill him. So he snuck away into a chest and was forgotten. And it's a sad story when you look at it that way. But if you look at the gameplay, it is you know, a very beautifully drawn, cute game that again has this twisted horror element. This who am I? Who are we? But yeah, it's fun. It's again very, very replayable, and my favorite game probably because of the aesthetic and the replayability. So with that being said, another thing that's going on right now, Edmund McMillan is having a Kickstarter for a card game version of this. And originally the show was just going to be about MIDI programming this stuff to work with looping and then doing the Isaac play. However, once the card Kickstarter just started at the beginning of this month, I started thinking of ways that I might be able to use the cards that we have, because this is sort of an expansion and a reprint, so it's a second edition printing, and so much cool stuff. Like, definitely, I think that it's worth buying at least one, maybe a few, because I think that they're going to be very collectible. There are a lot of special cards, special items that are only going to be available for this 1 month campaign, and there's some really cool stuff, really cool artist collaboration. So I recommend that you go and support this Kickstarter if you are into this aesthetic. The game itself is really fun too, and again, that's sort of where I would almost recommend either buying, you know, like two, one is a collectible kind of thing, or just making sure you have sleeves or whatever, because it's just so cool, and it's going to be super rare. But with that being said, I figured out a way to randomize my music writing and my creation process with Isaac cards. And there's a couple different ways that I've done that. And so that is sort of where the show is going to start. However, eventually it's going to go more into the binding of MIDI to looping software, so that people can learn how to, for free, combine these concepts within any DAW, any digital audio workstation, Reason, Ableton Live, Pro Tools, if that's really what you're using. I know it's professional, but dang, it's not really as advanced as some of the other ones. I've used it, and they've gotten better, but anyway, that's a little bit of a rant on Pro Tools. But anyway, so yes, so rather than talking about doing the combining and how to do a loop setup, I will be looping, but I'm going to be more doing improvised music with these two iPads. And the way that I'm going to be doing that is I'm going to be using this software called MIDI Map, or Chord Map. And Chord Map has the ability to sync or MIDI lock, MIDI bind to a bunch of different sounds. It has 2 chord sounds, a bass sound, 2 melody sounds, 2 additional sounds, a display keyboard, a strum sound, arpeggiation sound, and all of them can be played together or apart in different combinations and different ways within this app. So very, very cool. And then we have Chord Gadget, which there are a couple different apps that act very similar to this, Groovebox being another one that I really enjoy. I enjoy jamming with my roommate Rutger, who actually sort of inspired the idea of this card version of this music making process. He, this last Christmas, got me some music making dice, which are just dice that have 12 sides, and you roll them and they make different keys, or you can play with them in different ways. So that is sort of where I'm going with this. So what I've done is a couple different things. So first, I guess I'll walk through the setting up of this preset. So like I said, MIDI Map has the ability to actually MIDI map to quite a few different aspects. You can MIDI map to all kinds of different sounds. And within here, I have these two Bluetooth connected. I'm able to make each of these have their own sound, which is awesome. Like, yes, 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 yes. I'm also really happy to see that this is working right now. All right, so what I am going to go do right now is I am going to pick treasure cards. And the treasure cards are going to inspire the sounds that I choose. All right, so these are Binding of Isaac treasure cards. We're coming down low so that we can really get a view of them. Come on. There we go. Oop, come on. Gotta flatten that out so I can just put it down onto the computer. All right, cool. So we got treasure cards. And we want to make the treasures into sounds that we can fight monsters in Moms and our sort of reality. All right, so remote detonator is the item that I got for this sound. So, you know, I'm thinking for remote detonator, ooh, I know. We're going to pick very, very arcade, Kingston sounds. Okay, I can dig that as the remote detonator sound. And it just has to make it so, again, I just am inspired by these things. So Mom's Eyeshadow is going to be the next sound. I sort of like that sound. Let's do it. Let's make that Mom's Eyeshadow sound. And usually I'll try to set like a 25-minute timer, and then I'll, during the last sort of time, dial in the sounds to make them sound even more this way. But I just want to test to make sure that this all runs the way that it's supposed to. All right, so we got Pandora's Box as the next one. Come on. That's a little bit better. All right, so we got Pandora's Box. So what is Pandora's Box? Ooh, for a bass sound. So what's Pandora's Box? All right. All right, so we got some Pandora bass sound. Okay, telepathy for dummies. We got Bob's Brain. be sort of sludgy like that. Yeah, it's just. I'm down. Nice. I agreed. Copies 10. Like that. Not too long, right? Alright, one more sound. Head of the keeper. Well, what perfect time, because I think this is right where I die in the game. Alright, so save as Isaac. 8. Test 2. Okay, so next up is where I actually will get to play with this setup. I guess I should walk through that also sort of while we're down. And, well, I'll just bring up the cards. So The other part of this is being able to improvise with this setup, with the looping setup that I have. And to do that, I have made it so I have this. I don't know how easy it's necessarily going to be able to be seen, but I'll give it a go. So I have made it so that each of the characters correspond to different keys that I can set on this MIDI map. I also have it so that each of the tarot cards in the original game deck corresponds to different elements of this MIDI map being on or off. Because again, I said earlier that I have two chord sounds or two melodic sounds, melody sounds, or two accompaniment sounds. I also have an arpeggiation sound. I also have a bass sound. And all of those can be set differently, which is what we just did by putting new sounds on each of these. Now this will be different. And so that is the first way that that mixes everything up. But this is the second way. And so I'm going to set some timers. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm going to try to do the setup of the cards in between these numbers and making everything the same within 45 seconds. I'm going to try to get it down to 15 seconds, but there's some jumping around. And I'm going to try to also get to where there's a certain flow between all of the music and all of the songs, but it's going to take, a little bit of time to get there. So with that, I am, about to start. Let me set a timer. And I'm also today going to be using the cards as inspiration for singing, because right now, with this Kickstarter going on, they are doing a make music for the Binding of Isaac, and it has to have lyrics. And so I'm already making music with the Binding of Isaac, and so I might as well make it for it. And we got concepts like Mom's Knife. Mom's Knife. Isaac, come back over here. You can lay on that. Okie dokie. So, like I said, I'm going to set my timer, my howl timer. All right, so my howl timer, I want to be 3 minutes and let's just do 40 seconds. I probably don't need 45. I'm trying to shave it down, trying to be quick. Because nobody wants to sit around and watch baloney like that. I get it. I don't want to make you sit around and watch baloney. Actually, maybe that's the way to do it. I can have that stuff laying down in front of me. Okie dokie. I wonder if this is still set up correctly. It's been sort of glitching. got into the actual jam. Okay, so all this stuff is, like I sort of said, written out in this book. I can read it off as we're doing it, but I think, honestly, I had done that the last time and it didn't sound as good, me talking in between the jams. But maybe, I think actually the way that I'm going to go about it is doing the talking, and then we'll just cut it in the playthrough. All right, so we're going to pick cards. I got the Lost, which ends up being C. Right, no, F. And the XL floor for MIDI map is 7. And then the Lovers is C1, A1, and bass. Cool. All right, so I'm going to take that, put it there, take these. Oop, come on. And here we go. Let's take control of my heart, not believe I hold on my heart, not believe I. The hostess hell is taking over. It shoots my thoughts. This insecurity. Okay, so next Judas, Curse of Bloodlust, and the Hierophant. So, Judas, according to my list, is, and maybe I should just have this on my computer, it's probably way easier, G. And can also change that here. Perfect. And then Bloodlust is 4. And then the Hierophant is C1 or 2, 12 bass. And strum. Tight. Okay. It's very loud. Sorry about that. Team. All right. So next up, we got Isaac, we got the Fool, we got the Curse of Impulse. So Isaac is C, I know that much. And then Curse of Impulse is 1. Fool is just C1 and bass. 4-in-1 sound is a little bit harder to work with. But again, that's the whole point of this, is just challenge myself out of my musical patterns. So Samson, and I am Magician, and the Curse of Greed. So Samson is D. And then the Curse of Greed is 2. And the Magician is the fun one with the ARP set on. C1, A1, M2. He was a pretty smart fly, buzzing in my mind, love. He was a pretty smart fly. He was telling me it was in danger. Well, he was a good friend, oh, a much better friend than most. He was a real smart fly. I would soon be his host as I lay my fly, breathing he was deeply, always in danger. Well, he was a good friend, breathing in deeply, much better friend than most. He was a real smart fly. I would soon be his host as I read my fly. He was telling me it was in danger. Well, he was a good friend, oh, a much better friend than most. He was a real smart fly. I would soon be his host as I read. All right, Maggie is A. And the Curse of Fatigue is, I think, 3. Turn off the ARP. And then the Chariot is C2, A2 bass. C2. A to bass. Song modifier, the skeleton key. I have found myself in need of a focus. Something on my mind is the key inside of all of us. Help me find this way to entropy. I found this. I guess that we'll use this the next time because it's not going to work this time. So we're just going to do what we can. That's not what Ableton Sync is putting out. You're not sunk to Ableton Sync. What's going on? You're not sunk to Ableton Sync. My devices have become unsynced. I don't know why. But I gotta get that fixed before I can do anything else. As I thought, Wi-Fi is not connected. Is it not connected at all here? Have I not been? Nope, I'm still up. Where's our internet? Where's the internet? Where's the internet? Wonder why it's having a hard time seeing our. Huh. Well, I guess I'm going to turn this off and turn it back on because this isn't seeing my internet. Sorry, Isaac. This will be the moment that I can fix this other thing too, so that makes me happy. Going into my MIDI settings, for whatever reason, this brand new device I got, really, really cool, also kickstarted, just disconnects sometimes, and you have to reconnect it in a really weird fashion. The computer's been going for a while. It might be reaching its end with frame rate. No, it seems like it's doing fine. I can disable the preview too, always. I can disable the preview. happening. That's cool. Okay, Ableton Link should now actually be like truly enabled. And did it become, oh, it did become disengaged. Try to keep looping that over and over and over again. Yeah, my computer might be getting to where I might start getting some issues with pushing it like this. Okay, cool. Let's set back, let's set back, let's set back. All right. Yeah, so maybe this won't be necessarily like a live show, but I will release it and then maybe do the gameplay live. I don't know. Brazil. This will be the last one for this demonstration. B flat. And curse of tiny hands takes us to 0, and the wheel of fortune X is ARP, B, and C. ARP, B, and C. Cool. Okay, there we go. Shoot, stuff is messing up. I don't know why, all of a sudden. Okay, that will be it for now. And where is the screen for that? Nice, it looks like it did it the whole time. Streamed for about an hour, and thanks for tuning in.